Hi, it's Josie, and in today's video I want to talk to you about a 2-point seat. We'll also touch on a half seat or a light seat, but I really want to go into a 2-point seat because we use a 2-point seat when we're riding young green horses. They haven't built the muscles up under their back enough to take our full weight. You can use a light seat for that, but I use a 2-point seat quite a lot on my young horses, particularly when I'm riding them out through the paddocks, up and down hills, to help take the weight off their back while they're developing their muscles. It's also an amazing exercise for you as a rider to do to find your balance on a horse. So in this video I'm going to give you a couple of exercises to do, and if you do them, I can promise you, if you do them regularly, you will find that your balance and your stability in the saddle will improve out of sight. If you like these videos, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I would love to have you here at the channel and remind you every Friday when I pop out a new video. The difference between a full seat and a 2-point seat. So a full seat is basically when your seat from your knee all the way up under the saddle to the other knee is in contact with the saddle and you are sitting down in the saddle. Just make sure that you don't sit heavy, that you carry your own weight on your horse, but though that is the entire area of your seat is in touch with the horse. A light seat is where you just literally lift yourself up a little bit more and take some of that weight off, and more of it comes onto your thighs than underneath here. I'm not going to teach you about that one today because I particularly want to do a 2-point. Now, if you like me and ride in a dressage saddle mainly, if you've got big knee blocks, you may find this exercise a little bit difficult because your knee needs to come forward a little bit more for a 2-point seat than it does in a dressage seat. But if you're riding in a GP or a jumping saddle, you're going to have no problems at all. I'm just going to put my stirrups up one hole so that I can show you how to do this properly. Now, I have actually shortened my stirrups 2 holes so that I can get right up out of the saddle and show you how it's done. So when we move into a 2-point position, instead of taking the weight over the seat from the knee to the knee, the weight is transferred literally onto the stirrup. And you stand up in your stirrups, but you don't stand up like this because, as you can see, I have very little balance while my horse is standing still. If you haven't done these before, make sure you start this exercise standing still because you need to find your center, then do them in walk, then do them in trot, and then do them in canter. Build on it for yourself so that you will succeed in it. Now, the correct dressage seat is still appropriate in a 2-point, which is a straight line literally down through the body and through the ankle of the rider. The difference in a 2-point seat is that instead of coming down here through my seat bones, which will not be on the saddle because I come up out of the saddle, you need to pop your hips backwards and your knees come forward. And you do bring your upper body forward. So I'm forming a zigzag shape there because this concertina feeling of my knees and my ankles and my hips to some degree are what absorb the movement when the horse is moving. When you're trying to do these exercises, it's these joints, ankle and knee the most, that actually absorb the movement. Do not grip with your knees. I'll show you what happens when you grip with your knees. Yes, my knees are on my horse and they're softly touching him, but I don't grip with them. The same with my calf. If you've got a leg that's flying around everywhere, sorry mate, you might find that you don't actually have your calf is hanging off and swinging around in the breeze. Your actual calf should gently be on the sides of your horse, just touching him, even hugging him slightly, just to help you with stability. So let's have a look what that looks like in walk. So when you do this, guys, you may need to put your hands on your horse's neck to help yourself stabilize. Please don't be scared of doing that. But the aim is for you to be actually able to stabilize yourself with your core. Your core is the bit from your pubic bone to your navel and to your backbone. It's that middle bit in there. That is your core that needs to be firm. So So let's go off in walk and let's get up into a 2-point position. So I'm up in my 2-point, my ankles are flexed, my knees are in front, my hips are behind, I'm a little bit forward, and if I need to, I'm going to lean on my horse's neck. When you lean on his neck, don't throw your weight forward. It's literally there for you to touch, to keep your balance. So you can do a couple of steps in walk and then sit. And then a couple of steps in walk and then sit. And then a couple of steps in walk and then sit. There is nothing wrong with doing that rather than staying up in walk and losing your balance. So when we move on to the trot, the easiest way, I think, as long as you can rise trot okay, one of the easiest ways to learn a 2-point is to do a 2-point for a couple of steps and then rise again. Then a couple of steps and then rise again. And then a couple of steps and then rise again. And you can remember, put your hand on your horse if you just need a little bit of help keeping your center until you can find it. Make those times you're in a 2-point in trot longer each time. So you'll see here, hopefully, that my ankles and my knees mainly are absorbing the movement. That's where I'm getting the absorption, so I'm not bouncing here. Boing, boing, boing. So let's do 4 rise trot, 4 2-point. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, I lost my count. I want to point out to you where my weight is. My weight is over my right and my left stirrup, on the foot, on the bar of my foot. My knees are bending and my ankle, I can actually be honest with you, I can feel my right ankle's quite stiff today. So my knee's taking more, but that is where I'm absorbing the movement. When you get that one down, another way to help with your balance is to get into a 2-point, lean more forward, straighten more up. Lean more forward, straighten more up. Lean more. Now when I lean forward more, my hips go further back. So instead of falling on your face like this, when you come forward, this goes back a bit. I'm going to show you why you don't grab with your knees. Up in a 2-point, and now I'm going to grab with my knees. Can you, whoop, see what happens to me? As soon as you grab with your knees, you stop that, the shock absorbing qualities of your knee joint. So grab, look what happens to me, my whole body goes stiff. So again, you're going around, you're in your 2-point and you grab with your knees, and as soon as I pinch my knees together, I tense my whole body and I wobble. So once you can do this, change from rising trot to 2-point, to rising trot, to 2-point. And remember, in 2-point, your saddle, you only have 2 points of contact really, so your seat should not be anywhere near touching your saddle. But once you can do this and alternate between the two, you will have found that your balance in the saddle has improved remarkably. I have no doubt. When you're going to canter in a 2-point position, you can get up. Again, the weight is taken by my feet. I'm not hanging on. Sorry. I'm not hanging on. I've got my core on and my balance holding me, and my knees and ankles are absorbing the movement. Another quick little exercise, if you've got a monkey grip here, which I don't have, so I'm just going to put mine in the Velcro there. But if you've got a monkey grip there and you're comfortable, don't do this if you don't trust your horse or you're not uncomfortable, or you're going to blame me if something goes wrong. But once you can do that, you can test how good is your 2-point position. So you get your horse going in rise trot, nice and comfortably, nice tempo, nice rhythm. Find your 2 point and see how good you are. Rise, 2 point. Rise, I better turn him or run the cameraman over. 2 point. So just remember, full seat, knees all the way through, touching the saddle. Light seat is you just sort of take a bit of weight on your thighs and you lift your seat up out of the saddle so that your breeches are touching the saddle but not so much the flesh of your body. So 2 point, you're up, you're clear of the saddle. Your calves are what give you a bit of stability. They're not gripping your horse tightly, but they are on him. The weight is in your stirrup and your ankles and your knees, and a bit of flexion and extension in your hip here as well is what absorbs the movement. So your top half concertinas and opens as the horse moves, and your knee and your upper thigh concertina and open as well, and your ankle will act like a shock absorber. I'd love to hear how you go in the comments. Let me know, and thanks for watching.